morning, good afternoon, or good evening to all my lovely viewers out there. Or if you're new, please subscribe for more videos like this. Oh my god, that was so bad. So this is my first personal rant, and it's mostly just my personal opinion and response to the ShadowVanilla drama that's been going around X. And at the end, I'll be giving out personal reasons I ship it and the ship in total. Like I said, there's this drama going around on X around ShadowVanilla, and I'll be briefly explaining it. So, there's this fanfic on Artifact of Our Own, which is called Night Dancer, which is apparently the fanfic that caused all this drama. It's the main plot I got from chapter 1 is basically pure vanilla having two jobs. The first is being a barberstraw at a small cafe, which is in the morning. And then at night, he works as a stripper. Now, you guys might have the same reaction as me, be like, but pure vanilla is pure. Why in the world would be he stripping? And I got the answer from the fanfics, and the reason is apparently he's struggling to pay the money, and the town that he lives in somehow, strippers get paid very, very much for stripping. So yeah, pure vanilla doesn't want to strip. He doesn't want to do any of that, but he has no choice. It's either that or he goes homeless. Now, the problem with this fanfic is some of you might be thinking, oh, maybe some people just don't like the idea of a sweetheart being a stripper. But no, it's something even stupider than that. Apparently, people just looked at the fanfic, read it, they didn't even read the whole book, the whole fanfic, and immediately thought that us ShadowVanilla people, we glorify abuse, we glorify sexual harassment, we glorify not respecting boundaries as a whole, and they are now harassing all of us. Well, they are mostly harassing ShadowVanilla artists, but also ShadowVanilla fans who are trying to defend themselves. Now, one comment I got from the post I did about this, about me briefly explaining it, is this one person's comment. No, comment. I gotta speak proper English. Sorry. Comment is mostly about one simple sentence. Well, it's mostly a paragraph, but I mostly like about it. Just because a shark bit someone's leg off doesn't mean all sharks are bloodthirsty, which explains the whole drama. Just because one person wrote a fanfic doesn't mean that everyone else agrees with it. Like, there's the popular fanfic Jambound. God, I need to speak proper English. Sorry, I'm not an English person. Jambound, and it's one of the most popular and loved ShadowVanilla fanfics. And it's mostly around of a slow burn, which I love and hate at the same time. Like, goddamn it, just let my homie smooch for fuck's sake. Anyways, cannot be talking about Jambound. I'm here to talk about the drama. Okay, and now ShadowVanilla artists need to take breaks in order to, not get harassed. What's even worse is that some artists, I don't know specifically, most of them are in their 20s or early 30s, but most of them could possibly be minors. So imagine you're a minor who supports a ship that you personally enjoy. There are people out there who like the ship as you, and then you receive casual death threats. You would not want to quit, would you? Oh, of course you would want to quit. You're traumatized. And so that's basically the drama. And my personal opinion is I think it's a complete bullshit. Like, why would you look at something and immediately assume people who also like it to act the same way? That's like Diddy. That's like when you see Diddy harass a 12-year-old. You would think all black men love harassing 12-year-olds. No, that's the stupidest logic I've ever heard on the internet. Look, I need to take a breather. Okay. Look, harassment is harassment. It doesn't matter if the person you're harassing did the wrong thing. It is still harassment either way. Me, as a ShadowVanilla person, if I were to go around harassing pure Lily shippers, would that make it justifiable? No. Even if I have the most reasonable way, it is still harassment. You guys cannot keep your mouth shut on these days. I get it. The internet is supposed to be a place where And you could say your opinion, and some people might agree with you. But if somebody objects, you gotta be insecure about it and go against that person. Like, what? Okay, this next topic will be about the mischaracterization in the ship itself. Now, I've been hearing a lot of theories and personal reasons why some people don't ship Shadow Vanilla. And some of them are reasonable, some of them are stupid. Here's the first reasonable one I can see. I personally don't see a good relationship between them. Sure, okay, Shadowbook was kind of an asshole to Pure Vanilla, so I can understand why you would not like the ship. But here's a dumb reason that some people do not support that ship. It's because they don't really see Shadowbook's past and see him as redeemable. Look, I get it. He was an asshole. He was a bad bastard. He treated my baby like garbage. He made him go on his mental breaking point and told her to piss off after Vanilla friend-zoned him. But you gotta read more into the villain's backstory to see if it's either justified or non-justifiable or non-reasonable. Now, if y'all read, like me, deeper into Shadowbook's past as facts of knowledge, you would know that there were cookies asking stupid, dumb questions. And these people are just like the people on the internet. They cannot accept the bitter truth in life, and they want more sweetful lies. But then when Shadowbook finally, facts of knowledge, finally tells the bitter, harsh truth, the cookies go against it. If anything, they call him a language. Here, let me try to explain it in the human reality. Let's say a teacher teaches the students why using phones in a bad way is bad, like an addiction. And a teenager asks the teacher, don't we need phones in order to communicate? The teacher would say yes, but it is not good if you use it on an over excessive period of time. Then the student complains and bitches about it. Okay, listen. The mischaracterization is a bad thing, because then for new people coming to the fandoms, they would think the bad thing about the character and assume they would act like this. Such as Danny's World, where people mischaracterize Cosmo as this sweet, soft boy, like a soft boy who needs his daddy Sprout to come to his rescue, when in reality Cosmo could defend himself. He's just more shy and cautious, we could say. Or people mischaracterizing Dandy as some abusive manipulator, when Dandy is just kind of I wouldn't say a cheapskate, but he kind of cares about his business and he still cares about people. Overall, he's like a good person. That is. So, like, the mischaracterization needs to stop, and y'all need to read into the villain's backstory, or like people you antagonize, in order to fully see if what they did was justifiable. Why I also think this drama is super stupid is how hypocritical the people are that are objecting to the Shadow Vanilla fans. So, we all know that some people think that Shadow Vanilla is like an abuser, ex-victim sort of relationship, which I personally don't believe in. That is absolute dog shit. But what's hypocritical about this is I bet the same people who are saying that Shadowbook is an abuser can look at another ship that actually shows clear signs of it being a toxic relationship and think about it as healthy. Look, I want you guys in the comments to type in personal ships you guys think demonstrates abuser and victim. I will see if they're from series or books, read them over, and then come back and see if they are actually toxic. Shadow Vanilla, look, it is the way you put the ship. Because of Sammy canon, which I don't know what that means, but I personally think it's probably could be canon, but isn't confirmed canon. It's kind of like a sort of when you're making baking, like it is about to be ready, but it's not ready yet. Personally, and apparently the voice actors of Shadow Vanillas or some voice actors of Cookie Run Kingdom characters, like, if anything, they adore the Shadow Vanilla idea, the ship as a whole. especially the voice actor of Pure Vanilla or the voice actor of Shadowbook, Korea, whatever. You get the whole point. The cast probably likes Shadow Vanilla's ships. So, what's pretty hypocritical as well is the fact you guys apparently say that it's abuser ex victim, yet when the victim stands up for themselves, you guys think the victim is the bad guy. What about dark romance? Look, I am a bookworm. And dark romance, I thought dark romance is just gonna be like a forbidden love or like a normal lovers, tragic lovers or some crap. But apparently, it's apparently just casually putting a sexual assault. Think about it as like this. This is the story of a 17-year-old girl that got drunk and pregnant by her 25-year-old alpha, by 25-year-old alpha CEO. Now the girl has to navigate high school while also not trying to fall in love with the bad boy. That's basically dark romance. Why I'm comparing dark romance to Shadow Vanilla is how people could look at dark romance and think, oh, this is normal, this is sexy and hot. But Shadow Vanilla, they're like, yep, that's bad. That's terrible. Abuser ex victim, fuck that. Not to mention, I hear some people don't even like Pure Vanilla. Probably not a lot, but I've seen majority of rants claiming that Pure Vanilla is manipulative. Look, as a Pure Vanilla fan from the start, I'd like to say that is absolute bullshit. He's a sweetheart. And sure, he does mistakes that aren't really justifiable, but he's still a sweetheart either way in my eyes. And no, I am not babying him if that's what you're thinking. And the final topic will be the reason why some people ship Shadow Vanilla. I really hope I did explain it earlier, but I'm gonna try say with detail without it sounding complicated. The reason some certain people ship Shadow Vanilla is mostly by the idea of a person with Shadowbook who has been going through stupidity, being seen as nothing more than just entertainment or like an object of use, and then finally sees a person who sees them more than a monster. That's basically how some of us see the ship. And some people even like the ship because of the vibe of it at all. Like this boy who acts all high and mighty and confident when in reality they don't want to be left alone again. And then there's the sweet angel who knows what they're going through and tries to understand them as possible. That's kind of the reasons other people ship it. Why I ship Shadow Vanilla mostly is basically, well, it is kind of a mix between both. Like, I personally like the idea of somebody acting all high and mighty and cool and, oh, I am the best out of all. When in reality, they know what they're doing is wrong. They try to fix it. And they don't want to be kind of like this monster. Or they just claim that they are the monsters and believe that they aren't meant to be loved or meant to feel happiness in their life because of the things they've done. Now, to some of the people who have read Mio, well, some people probably did it, but Silly Smokies, there's one scene in Confession Chapter 1, which I made a video about it, which is Chapter 1, I'm Not Made to Be Loved, where Shadowbook says a line that I personally think is cool and probably canon to the game. Here's the pic. You can see how some people would ship Shadow Vanilla. Like, the idea of somebody usually so confident, always making jokes, always playing around, actually, when they have a vulnerable or just a breaking point, where they finally feel as though, like, they are meant to be some evil, psychotic, or demonic person. Even at times where Shadowbook's not being a total pain in the butt to the others, he's like a genuine chill person. Like in the game. Like we could see in certain scenes, if you guys seen the game, where what Shadowbook isn't playing around or being a total douchebag, he's surprisingly chill and, if I were to be honest, kind of kind. Yes, I said the K word. So yeah, what I like to summarize as a whole for this rant is that just because, number one, just because somebody does something, that doesn't mean the people who also like it do the same thing. Just because somebody wrote a fanfic doesn't mean everybody who likes that ship likes the certain thing. Number two, harassment is still harassment. It doesn't matter if what the person did was wrong. You're still harassing a person. You're still harassing a person who probably off camera is an innocent person. And finally, the obvious, easiest way you can do is just respect ships. Sure, there are ships that are very questionable and even disgusting, like incest or some stuff. But those are the only ones that should be talked about because it actually is morally wrong. But ships that don't seem problematic, as some people enjoy, it shouldn't be hard for you to just keep your mouth shut and continue on with your life. We are not immortals here, and you want to waste it on complaining about it to a person who likes a certain ship. Now, that'll be for my rant for today. Thank you so much for listening, and please don't go around and harass people on the internet. And be sure to like and subscribe for some comic dubs or gacha music videos or memes that I'll be making and some posts. Thank you. Bye, Pookies.